Hello, Morné. You popped in and out very quickly. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Aquarius Rising Africa, or Drop In with ARA. I know this is a little bit of a surprise. I haven't done one for a couple of weeks now. In fact, I think it's probably about a month and a half. And so I'm really happy to be back again. I've just moved and everything is kind of settled again. So now I'm back on my merry bicycle and we're doing things. So I want to just quickly go through the upcoming shows for the week. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for joining me. If you can just pop up that screen, the calendar on the screen for, here we go. Okay, so Monday we've got the usual Bryce coming up as well. Tom on Tuesday. We've got Jessie on Wednesday. That's going to actually be on Solutions, not on Aquarius Rising Africa. That'll be Jessie's. And hopefully we've got one of her family members that are going to be joining us on that. And really just to be talking about the harassment, you know, that one endures and how it actually affects the families of people like Jessie that are so highly targeted. So we look forward to that on Wednesday, but we will keep you updated as well. And then, of course, on Thursday, we have Caleb Jade, who's our new and regular guest. And guys, if you haven't watched his interviews yet, I highly recommend that you do. For those of you that have been watching Jessie's shows, all the stuff that she talks about, Caleb was involved with that. He was, for 35 years, a participator, if you want to call it that, and has turned his life around completely and now sharing his story here on Aquarius Rising Africa. One thing that I know in my conversations that I've had with him over a little while has really been about the one thing that really shocked me was the wild hunt. So if you guys haven't watched that yet, it's very real. It's nothing that's mythological. It's actually very real. That involves mythological creatures. So please watch that. And yeah, follow his story. It's really quite a story to follow. And then, of course, on Friday next week, we have Danny Henderson again. And I'm so looking forward to chatting to her. She's just had a big conference, so it's probably going on now. So looking forward to hearing about that. And then, of course, Leo Zagami again on Friday. Always great to have Leo Zagami. And then on Sundays is Caleb Jade again. So we look forward to having them this Sunday as well. So cool. I hope you're going to be joining us for the shows. Look forward to having you back with us. Well, not back with us. I'm back with you on this show, but joining us for the shows next week. So, of course, what I really like to look at, you know, with these little drop-ins that I do is something that has grabbed my attention for the week. And wow, one video that really got my attention this week was this violence in the schools. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's really a school in Florida called Metasis High School. I'm not sure if I've got that pronunciation right, but Metasis High School. And this really involved a 270-pound student literally running full speed up to a female teacher in the corridors of the school, knocking her flying right off her feet. She was knocked unconscious by him. And then he proceeded to beat her up and kick her to a pulp. It's actually very, very disturbing to watch, but we're going to play it. So for those of you who are sensitive, and please, we don't want kids to be seeing this either, but here's the video clip of this. We're not going to be playing sound, but we're just going to be putting up the video clip here so you can see what this is about. So yeah, it's graphic content, so just be aware of that. If you're sensitive, this is not nice to watch. Okay, well, really, yeah, there you can see, there she goes. She sees him, hears him, and he knocks her flying. At this stage, she's clearly unconscious and beating her. Now, what really gets to me is look at that security guard just waddling along there, taking his time, which is clearly a violent crime. And he's just the only man in the vicinity. And he's just, okay, now he's acting like Rambo there, being the hero. But I'm disgusted that the only man in the vicinity will take his time and stroll up to this horrific incident. You will see there's the majority girls, females in that altercation. And I know I could see another male there as well. Anyway, he was 17 when that occurred. And I do believe he's 18 now. And his name is Brendan Deeper. Now, the story that they've told is that he's autistic. And apparently what happened was that she stopped him from playing his Nintendo Switch or something in class, and that enraged him. And that was his reaction for getting reprimanded in class. Wow, that really got me thinking, you know, and quite frankly, I have no time for that. When you look at some of the comments in this video as well, people are excusing his behavior, saying, yes, but he's autistic. Yes, he's autistic. Give him a break, blah, blah, blah. That does not mean anything, in my opinion. You know, autism, I know people with autism, adult autism as well. I understand there's obviously something that needs to be worked with, but certainly not having this type of rage that's built up inside of this person, and he is now taking it out on the teacher for reprimanding him. It also just brings to mind as well how many students I've seen in recent years getting into these horrific fights at school, set-up fights. I mean, there's kids surrounding them and girls beating each other up, boys beating each other up, boys and girls fighting and beating each other up. Oh, by the way, incidentally, just while we're still talking on the school in Florida incident, this guy's has got a 30-year sentence. And I mean, I guess the teacher did not, obviously she didn't see what was going on, right? She's lying there unconscious. But when she saw the video, I guess she was not too happy to have to back his reduction, because apparently they were wanting to reduce his sentence, and she wasn't prepared to back that, and she got a lot of backlash for that as well. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how these situations occur in our schools. One program I love watching, and especially because I work with kids as well a lot, is Super Nanny. I don't know if you guys actually watch that at all. But it's this British woman that goes around to families that are in crisis. They really have no idea how to control their kids or discipline them or whatever. So she goes there and literally spends a few days coaching the parents and really bringing stability back into the home. And one thing I know for sure from watching her amazing stuff over the years, and also working with families myself over the years, it is always the way that the parents are disciplining these kids. Always. That goes without saying. The parents either under-disciplined, over-disciplined, have never been disciplined, have no idea how to set boundaries, have no idea how to say no to their kids, etc., etc. And the minute that the kids are actually having healthy boundaries set in these situations, it changes the entire dynamic of the family to one that is constructive and wholesome. So that always brings to mind, you know, when I look at things like this, is what actually happens in these situations. Firstly, if the kid is autistic, depending on where on the scale his autism is, he would probably need some kind of medication or help or therapy or something like that, you know. But to be sitting in a classroom playing a Nintendo game and then being so enraged when you're told you can't be doing it, that you literally, I mean, that guy would have kicked her to death. That was his intention. You could see that a mile away. He would have kicked her to death if there was no intervention. And it makes me wonder about how we raise our kids nowadays as well, with all these video games, iPads, whatever. You know, it creates such a disconnection in the child and in the family. It creates a disconnection within that child to his and her surroundings as well. So, of course, they become addicted to these things. And the minute there's an addiction present, we know how hard it is to break that. So, in my opinion, these situations begin at home. It again takes me, you know, having watched this and having looked at it, it gets me to realize just how much we need to be nurturing our home lives, because responsibility has to be taken. That kid can't get away with it. There is too much of that. In my opinion, violence needs to be abolished as much as what it can. We are creating a breeding ground for violence within our families, within our schools, and within our communities when we don't pay attention to these things. You know, many of us just look around and say, well, it's not my problem. It's somebody else that has to deal with it. It's happening around us all the time. You know, it also brings me, I remember many years ago, South Africa had a very amazing, very well-loved cricket captain. Now, if you guys know anything about South Africa, you know we love sport here. And two of our main sports for men is cricket and rugby. And a guy called Hansie Cronje was South Africa's cricket captain, and a very, very well-loved cricket captain for many years. And this very upstanding citizen, church-going, family man type environment, right? And then lo and behold, as things turn out, Mr. Cronje there was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He was match fixing. He was taking bribes. He was linked to all these big cricket mafias, you know. And of course, he went through the whole court case of, you know, taking responsibility and accountability and everything. And what was so amazing is that he turned around and said, I'm sorry, the devil made me do it. Well, since then, he became known as Mr. The Devil Made Me Do It. And sadly, he has passed away since then. He was actually killed in a helicopter accident a few years after that. But it just, again, brings, you know, to my attention just how we tend to pass the buck as well and not take responsibility for our own actions, right? So it's all about, in my opinion, taking responsibility. When we can face our responsibilities in life, at home, with our kids, these are the things that aren't going to happen. So, you know, for me, that was just something that I wanted to share with you guys. It's very concerning for me, I have to say, because autism is certainly not an excuse for that type of violence. His parents should be accountable, and he should be accountable. We all should be accountable, actually, because, you know, again, we're looking at this violence in our schools. First, you know, this sort of stuff that's been going on forever, the sexualizing of our kids, them being allowed to cut up their bodies and do what they want, and parents just saying, oh, fine, you're 3 years old, you're fine to do these things. We're setting ourselves up for a takeover. Really, we are. The more disconnected we are from ourselves, each other, society, our communities, the more we open ourselves up for this type of thing to occur in our lives. And really, you know, at the end of the day, this is just something we're working towards that is, I want to say it, and I'm battling to find the words, but it's really just so much bigger than what we are. We've got to step up. We've got to make sure it happens. We are the ones that are going to make the difference. No one else is going to do it for us. I think we know by now, anyone on this channel, most people on this channel realize there's not one president or whatever that's going to save us. There's no one that's going to come fix this. This whole system has been so corrupted for so long. It's up to us to make the changes. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, I hope the devil doesn't make you do anything bad this weekend. And on that note, ching ching. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. And take care of yourself. Hello, Linda. So nice to see you here. And I hope you guys are well. Have a fantastic weekend. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at 6 p.m. my time, which I don't know what your time is there, but we are CAT or GMT +2. We'll have Caleb J. I want to call him Jade, Caleb Jade on the show again. We're going to be talking about the Cabbage Patch Kids. Wow. If you guys have watched our shows, Bryce, we did on Tartaria, and lately there's stuff coming up on the Cabbage Patch Kids. What are they? You know, at the turn of the century, there was these baby farms and just these baby shows and these incubators with babies for sale. Where did they come from and who was buying them? Very, very, very interesting. So look forward to catching you guys then. And as I said, have a beautiful weekend and enjoy your Friday. Ching, ching.